Time now for our KSAT Q&A. We are joined most Tuesdays by San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg, who is with us yet again this evening. Mayor, thanks for your time as always. Let's start with a vote that's coming up on the replacement for District 10 Councilman Clayton Perry. He is on sabbatical after that DWI charge, hit and run crash. 18 people have applied to be his temporary replacement. Let's talk about what comes next. How does the council make a decision on those?
Sure, and that number is now 17. We had one applicant withdraw his application. We were notified today. So 17 applications as of now, and those applications are closed. On Wednesday, tomorrow, the City Council will deliberate in executive session just on the paper candidates, looking at their applications, and settle on possibly three, up to three finalists to bring back for interviews in person, in public, on Thursday morning. At that point, we will deliberate and come up with our finalist, our single appointed member, and we will take a vote, decide on that in public. And I anticipate that the temporary appointment for D10 will be in his or her seat on Thursday.
I want to move to the St. Mary's Strip right now. We talked extensively about it last week, but do you feel better about where the situation is today compared to where it was last Tuesday when we talked? And is a lot of the blame for what is happening out there lie at the feet of the contractor? I know there have been a couple different contractors out there.
Well, so number one, I think our frustration has not waned. It is a frustrating situation, to say the least, and the businesses that are impacted, that area has been impacted by far more than just construction, but construction is the latest pile on to the impacts. The situation is improving day by day. The contractor has been working to accelerate that project. We know that paving will begin this week. We have commitments on that, so the end is drawing closer, and the anticipated project completion date is in March of this coming of 2023. So the end is near in terms of the construction phase of this project, and that's good news. But that doesn't take away the fact that there has been lots of delays. There has been some soil issues and a lot of other challenges that frankly have been burdening the community there, and that doesn't change the fact that there has been frustration as a result. We want this thing to move along as quickly as possible, and I'm hopeful that it will continue to do. It will start to do that, beginning with the paving process this week.
Am I correct that there was an initial contractor that just didn't work out, that wasn't meeting the demands, and they had to go to another contractor?
I'm not familiar with that part of it, but I will tell you that there were some challenges with regard to soil, and there was also some faulty installation. But we have had conversations with the contractor to move things along, to send extra crews to work extra days. They are doing that. Obviously, the weather sometimes gets in the way, but frankly, this project's been sitting for a long time, so we need that project done as quickly as possible. We are holding to that March deadline, and again, paving to start now. But all that history is not erased by moving quickly. We just want to get this project done.
Right. Yeah, and for a lot of people who may not be really familiar with that area, it's not just a mess. It's not just a headache for traffic. We've had some bar owners tell us they've made $11 in a night, and they're blaming the lack of access to their businesses for that. I'm curious if it's a situation where a contractor doesn't seem to be moving in a way that the city wants. Does the city have any tools at its disposal to take some sort of action against a contractor?
Yeah, there are always clauses within contracts to cure problems that are caused by delays that are not due to any unforeseen circumstances. So in that case, I do expect our Public Works Department, our city management to take advantage of those clauses. As I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I think that we've been working to really push this contractor now to get this project completed. And as of today, and I just spoke with the city manager, we're expecting paving to begin. So when there are issues that are not caused by any unforeseen circumstances that are the fault of the contractor, you can rest assured that we are making use of those clauses to protect the public and to make sure that we're protecting the public's money.
Let's move now to some big news for the city of San Antonio. A big grant, $25.5 million from the CDC coming to San Antonio. Tell us what that's for.
Sure. Well, that was a big dose of good news that we got late this afternoon, and that is that the HHS, the federal government, through the bipartisan infrastructure law, has granted San Antonio $25.5 million to implement our SA Forward 5-year strategic public health plan. That's going to go into various initiatives that are part of that strategic plan adopted by council, from mental health to healthcare access to work that we're doing to prevent domestic violence. So we have a very strong Metro Health Department. I think a lot of our community got very familiar with them during the course of the last few years. They do a lot more than just infectious disease prevention and dealing with vaccinations and things like that. It goes into the heart of prevention and improving public health metrics across the board. And that's what our 5-year plan is all about. And very glad to see that fully funded now, in part because of that $25.5 million grant from the federal government.
All right, before we let you go, I know you're a huge sports fan. Coach Jeff Traylor at UTSA and the football team, they're playing for a back-to-back championship on Friday night. He wants to see more than 50,000 people inside the dome. I know you echo that call, but I want to talk about from a business standpoint. What kind of signal does it send to other cities, to other sports entities, teams, people that are out there, if that happens on Friday night?
So I don't think you can underestimate the impact of a major and successful Division I athletic program, and certainly the top tier of those sports in terms of visibility is football. UTSA Roadrunner football has been giving that to us for the last couple of years. It's national television. It's more eyes on our program, and what that's going to do is help build more success. And let me tell you, it's not just economic development. It's also recruits. We want to have the best players play for the UTSA Roadrunners, continuing just the tradition that's already been started with the players that we've got now. They're going to be looking at the kind of turnout that we have in the stadium, and the fact that we have opposing players and coaches complaining about the noise that's generated from all of our fans cheering. I think this is a big deal. We should pack the dome and get as many people in there watching another championship run hosted at home for San Antonio. And I think we're one of only 4 programs nationally that have hosted now 2 years in a row their championship game. So great run by the UTSA Roadrunners, and we need to show them our love this weekend. Yeah,
you can go to the Dome on Friday, and then Saturday go catch the UIW Cardinals in their first playoff game. So, great local sports.
Big shout out to the Trinity Tiger football team that ended their playoff run, but they had an incredible year as well, and much success to all 3 of those programs. They're doing our city proud.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor Ron Nirenberg.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks, y'all.
Keep up to date with all of San Antonio's top news, weather, and so much more by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. And once again, thanks for watching KSAT.